You and Jimmy are part of this small brotherhood that actually carries around, a double neck guitar like that. Did you talk to Jimmy about playing double neck? Jimmy used his famously on Stairway to Heaven, and used yours on Hotel California.
We discussed our back problems from lugging that thing around for so many years. You know, when I recorded Hotel California with the Eagles, I played, I think, 15 or 16 different guitar tracks on the record. Overdub reggae, overdub descending harmony lines, the obvious introduction on the 12-string acoustic guitar, and the solos at the end, just a bunch of different parts I recorded. We got on the sound stage out at Warner Brothers to figure out how we were going to go out and play Hotel California live. And I said, maybe I get an acoustic 12-string and mount it on a stand, and I go up, put the Les Paul around my back, and I go up and reach around and play this 12-string guitar, and then step away and pull the Les Paul up and play that. And then the next verse, I go back and I said, the first time I walk up on stage in one of these big arenas and bump that acoustic 12-string and it goes down and shatters, that's going to be the end of that song. There's no way to finish it. So I thought, well, that's not going to work. So I sent a guitar tech out to a music store. I said, just go buy a double neck guitar. I'll figure out how to make this thing work. So he comes back with this white guitar, and I go, why did you get a white one? It's so like girly, to have a white guitar. Couldn't you get a black one or a red one or something cool? And he said, that's all they had. So when I was 14 years old, my dad took me to Daytona Beach to a really small civic auditorium, probably seated about 400 people, to see Chet Atkins play live. I was a huge Chet Atkins fan, and he was just dazzling with his technique. It was so unique. So Chet had taken his Gretsch guitar and wired it so that the low 3 strings on this guitar went out of one output and into an amplifier on one side of the stage. The top 3 strings, the melody side of his guitar, went out of another output over to an amplifier on the other side of the stage. So he said, the bloodiest war where the most Americans died was the Civil War, where Americans killed Americans. He said each had a theme for their war, and started playing Yankee Doodle Dandy, and it was coming out of one speaker. He said in the South had Dixie, and he started playing Dixie on the top 3 strings, and it came out of the other side of the stage, out of the other amp. He says, in an effort to reunite and heal those waves between the North and the South, I'm going to play them both at the same time. So he started playing Yankee Doodle Dandy and Dixie simultaneously, one song coming out of one speaker and another song coming out of the other speaker, and I went, that's amazing, that's brilliant. So my dad and I stayed till he was done. He actually went off stage, got his guitar case, came back, opened it up, packed up his own guitar. He had no guitar tech or roadie kind of taking care of his stuff, rolled up his own guitar cords and grabbed his guitar and started walking up these steps at the front of the auditorium where we were waiting. And I said, how did you do that? How did you do that? And he said, well, he explained that he kind of cut his pickups in half. So the only way I could figure out how to make that double neck work is if I took a drill and drilled a second hole in the top of that guitar and wired it so that one neck went out of one output, and you throw the switch down to the other neck and it goes out of another output to like a rock and roll amp. So what I had seen and learned when I was 14 came in handy to be able to rewire that guitar so I could make 2 guitars that were kind of glued together with 2 different separate sounds. And ever since then, I've been lugging this beast around for the last 40-something years, and I've got the back issues to prove it.